Happy Friday. This is Shayna with the Trade Exchange. Just want to get right into it with you. What's gone on this week? Because this was the week that we have begun the earnings season. Earnings has begun. It's going on the next couple of weeks, and it's a great thing to see. Great to see how well many of these companies did because, as we know, the stock market valuation is said to be high. So isn't it great to see these companies meeting and beating expectations? So let's talk about the ones that did it. Verizon, Morgan Stanley, American Express, Bank of America, GE, and Honeywell, they all beat earnings expectations. Bravo. We all love to earn money, so they did a great job at that. On the flip side, Goldman Sachs, not usually a contender for missing earnings. They missed earnings this quarter. Johnson & Johnson, IBM, Verizon, and eBay, they all as well missed earnings. So now is a time to log into your Verizon accounts to see if there's a better plan for you. See what they're willing to do to try and bring back their earnings expectations. Netflix, they met expectations. However, membership was low. Maybe it's because of Hulu. Not sure. But membership was less than expected for Netflix. Moving on, let's talk about the indices and see what's going on. So our indices, not a lot of change from last week. We have 20,547 for the Dow. That's up just spot 4.5% for the week. S&Ps are up just spot 8.5% for the week, closing out 23.49. NASDAQ up a bit more. It's up 1 spot 8% for the week. It closed out 59.10. Gold is down just a little bit, spot 3%. It closed out 1286.80. Crude oil, we're going to get into that in just a minute, but just so you know, it is down for the week. We'll get right into that, but just one moment for that. And let's look at our VIX number. A little bit more volatility going on in the VIX. So what's going on this week? Well, Sunday we have the French election, and the French election is very interesting to watch, and markets are waiting to see what happens because anything could happen at this point, right? We have Marine Le Pen, we have Emmanuel Macron, and we have Jean-Luc Mélenchon. And if any one of these gets over 50%, well, they win outright. They win outright, all the votes they get over 50%. However, if they don't, it goes into a May 7th runoff. And going to be interesting to see what happens because, as we all know, yesterday, Paris was again under attack of another terrorist attack. And very unfortunate to see because since November of 2015, France has lost over 230 citizens to terrorism, which is very, very unfortunate to see, and it's a very real issue for them over there. And to this morning, we woke up to Marine Le Pen saying that she wants almost a radical change, and she wants anybody who's on the terrorism watch list, she wants them out. You know, if you're suspected of terrorism, she wants them out if you're on that watch list. And it's a much more radical approach. And some would say it's radical, but there may be a lot that, you know, with all the terrorism that they have had and they've been experiencing as the citizens of France, that they may not be on board with a more radical approach. So it's going to be a very interesting election to see how France votes come this Sunday. So a lot of the economists are going to be watching this, as well as a lot of those in the financial world. So interesting thing that's happening on Sunday. Now, moving back, if we take a look back at our 10-year, we see not a lot of change. We closed out this week. Last week closed out 2.232. You see here closed out 2.246. So not a lot of change. 10-year remains to be a very safe investment vehicle as we watch and see what's going to go on. But let's look at oil. Next chart over. So take a look at this. Oil, remember that $50 a barrel level we talked about? Boom, we are now below it. What's going on? Well, May 25th, the OPEC and non-OPEC nations, they're going to meet and they're going to talk and they're going to say, hey, are we going to continue extending the cuts of 1.8 million barrels a day? Those talks are going on. But on the flip side, what's going on? U.S. production is at its highest. It's completely on the opposite side. So we have the OPEC and non-OPEC nations talking about making these cuts while U.S. production is at its highest. We are, in fact, the 14th consecutive week that U.S. drillers are adding rigs. So, of course, this extra supply is going to hammer down these numbers, as we are seeing with oil closing out 49.61. That is down 6.3% for the week. It's down just 2% today on Friday. So big change in oil, drop below that $50 a barrel level. Moving on to next week, we got a lot going on. Let's take a look here at our calendar. So if you see here, Wednesday, this happens overnight, we have the Bank of Japan announcement. On Thursday, 7:45 a.m., you see here the ECB announcement. A lot of eyes are going to be watching that one. And finally, on Friday at 8:30, if I scroll down for you here, you'll see we have on the, there it is, the GDP numbers coming out 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Friday, next Friday. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and we will see what happens in the French elections because Je ne sais pas. I don't know what's going to happen, but we shall see. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great weekend. Bye bye.